Some languages have something called a switch statement, which is similar to the elif statements, where you could have multiple checks running and it will output the correct answer based on your multiple checks. But it's a more syntax friendly way of doing a lot of checks. Now, Python doesn't have one built in, but there is an easy workaround, which is actually quite a nice method as it is anyway. So I'm going to be showing you what that workaround is. Now, if you don't understand or if you don't like this method, you can just stick to using if, else, ifs and else statements. However, this is just an alternative for people who want to learn the language fully or see other methods of doing things. So the way in which you do it is by using the dictionary, which I discussed in a previous video. And we're just going to create a dictionary and we're going to call that switch. We're going to create the dictionary using the dict function. There we go. And we're going to just do 1 is equal to 1 and 2 is equal to 2. 3 is equal to. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2 and 3. Now our variable we're going to have equal to 2 for now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do print, and we do print switch, and inside the square brackets we can put our variable, and when we run this you see that we get the output of 2. Now if I was to change this to just say true, just so you can see that it does work, we get the output of true. So this is how you could do a long if statement. The only problem with this is it only works with outputs. It doesn't work with other conditional statements running. So if you wanted to do more logical conditions afterwards, you'd have to use the if, else, if statements rather than using the dictionary method. However, this is quite useful if all you're doing is outputting something to the user. Now you'll notice if I was to try 4 here and run it, and we get a problem, we get an error output, and that is because the key within the value of 4, or the index of 4, doesn't exist. It only goes up to 1, 2 and 3. So the 4th one isn't there, and it's not got a default value as such, because it can't give a value like that because of the way that a dictionary works. Now there is something called a try-catch, which we will be covering later on in the course. However, that's quite a messy workaround for something like this, where we could have a much simpler method of doing it, and that much simpler method of doing it is using a function that is built in to the dictionary, which is called the get. And what we do is we put the takes 2 parameters, and a parameter is just a piece of information that you pass towards it. And the first parameter is the variable that you're passing, the information that you want it to check, and the second parameter is the default if it can't find it. And so you'll see now that it gets the output of default. So that is just a quick workaround on which you can do to get around the fact that Python doesn't have switch statement built in. So thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.